okay, people voted for us to get in. More people voted for Democrats than Republicans here, and we'll contest Trump. We're not going to beat Trump. We're not going to say that there's definitely not going to be any wall made, because there still might be a wall. We're not sure, but we're going to try and say no because we disagree with it. That's democracy.
How about this? How about only states which have a border with Mexico should be allowed to have a say?
Ooh, that's an interesting idea, actually.
It's a very interesting idea.
I think it might be quite. In some ways, I think that might work. I'm not actually sure about that. What do you explain your views? Explain your views. I'm not sure.
Well, this sort of situation affects the southern states more than it does the northern states. The northern states aren't having to worry about constant invasion from. No, obviously, I'm not invasion of your everyday Mexican, but that caravan of migrants who wanted to rock up from Honduras, that is essentially an invasion. And I'm looking at a map of the US now. So there's on the southern border, so South California all the way along to Florida. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states. Yep. And 1, 2, 3, 4. No, sorry, that's a complete lie. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 states.
8 states. Oh, I was going to say
along the southern border. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, 6 of 8 voted for Trump.
Yes.
So how about those 6 of 8 states vote on whether they want a wall, because it's going to be affecting those people in those states. And then when they say yes or no, you have a referendum, if you like, of 8 states. And if they say yes or no, then it gets built or it doesn't get built. Because someone up in Maine and someone up in Alaska and, I don't know, North Dakota is hardly going to be affected as much as people who are living in Texas, who are living in South California, who are having to deal with people jumping over the wall every other day.
That's an interesting idea, but don't you think that would... Because the way the power is supposed to be spread in America is that every state has equal power to stop the smaller states being cut out, and yes, it would affect them less. But that wouldn't change the thought of someone who, say, lived in say, a Democrat who lived in South Carolina or states slightly north. If they believed that this person's individual rights, the rights as set out by the Constitution, were being violated by this.
Yes, but Alistair, these are the same Democrats who are upholding, oh yes, the Fifth Amendment, are also going up the Second Amendment rights, which the Republicans more tend to be worried about.
That's true.
So
true.
You know, the Democrats are taking away Second Amendment rights and also trying to say that they're standing up for Fifth Amendment rights. So unfortunately, that's a bit of a hypocritic move from that. The Democrats who think that they're standing up for the Constitution are a bit delusional, because they're taking away one to give another and saying that they're standing up for the Constitution, which is wrong.
I think it all depends on what people find morally more acceptable. Like I personally say that I think that at the end of the day, the wall, it's a silly idea, but it's not catastrophic. Right. I'd rather have the wall and less gun rights, and more gun control. I should say more gun control and the wall than no wall and still having hundreds of kids being shot a year by school shooters and through gang violence.
Yes, but hundreds of kids are being killed by Mexicans, Alistair.
I don't think hundreds of kids are being killed by Mexicans.
Unfortunately, they are.
I don't think that's true.
They're the ones bringing in the drugs. They're the ones bringing in the weapons, which are harming people much more than a school shooting will.
But I mean, I think that's as true as when the Democrats go around saying that guns are all people who shoot guns are killers, which is not true. But I just think that the majority that more people there've been more gun deaths than there've been gun deaths related to immigrants. Like I'm not saying that illegal immigration is good. I'm against it, but I think that by you saying that these Mexicans are killing more people than guns have been used. In fact, they might have even been using guns to kill these people.
Well, I said, you're correct in saying that not all people who shoot guns are murderers. But by that same logic, all drug dealers who are intentionally dealing illegal drugs, they are murderers. So when it comes to your second... Okay, so I've got, 100 kilograms of heroin here. I'm going to go to the US because I've got it easily in Mexico, and I'll sell it to druggies who will sell it to other people, and it will get diluted with chemicals, and it will get distributed throughout America to all drug addicts, and they will either end up killing themselves, or they'll overdose and die, or they'll just be taking it recreationally, and there'll be something wrong with the drugs.
You're a libertarian, right?
Obviously, yeah, drugs should be legalized. And if they're legalised, then that means that there can be a bit more regulation, a bit more safety in using them.
But isn't there a difference between some guy taking
so when
heroin?
A Mexican rocks up with drugs, which are going to kill people, that's different to an American saying, "Oh yes, I'm standing up to my Second Amendment rights to shoot guns in a gun range."
But isn't there a difference, James, between someone taking heroin? Okay, because libertarians, people should be able to do what they want. If they make a mistake, it's their fault. So isn't there a difference between someone taking heroin and overdosing as opposed to someone pulling up to someone with a gun to their face and shooting them dead? Like one's self-inflicted, is it not? One's completely not self-inflicted.
No. Drug use isn't self-inflicted. There's many societal pressures which end up in people dying.
But there's less societal pressures than that. And just I'm not saying, like, of course it's used as escapism, and we should be trying to stop people from taking these hardcore drugs. But I mean, at the end of the day, you are still the one who's giving the money over, while the person who comes and shoots you in the face, that's absolutely nothing to do with you. Okay. Yes. So the person who mugs you and says, "Give me your wallet," with a gun to your head, and then lets it go off, or the person who intentionally tries to kill you because he's a lunatic. That's nothing to do with you. You didn't.
Yes, but many more people die from drugs than they do from lunatics, Alistair. There's not many lunatics compared to drug dealers, and unfortunately, the Mexicans are literally pumping drugs into the US, killing people.
Yeah, but one of the ways that you said that there are underlying factors.
A wall has to be erected in order to stop that. It has to be stopped.
I don't need to even stop it that much, because I mean, it wouldn't stop it completely. These Mexican cartels really want to get their drugs into the US, but there's this great big slapping wall, which I mean there already pretty much is across the border. Excuse me. What are they going to do if they've got loads and loads of drugs? They've got loads and loads of money to supply the drugs. Then they're not going to sit there and just go, "Oh, the wall, we can't get over." They're going to fly over to Canada, and they're going to come in that side, because there's nothing stopping them there.
Yes, obviously, but it will reduce it significantly.
Yeah, well, I don't think it would reduce it significantly, if I'm honest.
Well, I think you're wrong there, because it's a step in the right direction.
It would reduce petty crime, but it would also reduce some people's beliefs in the Fifth Amendment. Some people think it would go across. It wouldn't really cut down on much like big gang crime, because they could just go to the border, or they could just go around it. I mean, lots of actually like smuggling is through the Canadian border, isn't it? It's not done through the Mexican border, because it's already quite well guarded, quite well defended.
It's not very well defended. That's the problem.
It is well defended.
Anyway, right, let's move on. Come on. Okay, everyone. So that's enough of that, I think, for the time being. So to summarise, I think that shutdown's good, wall is good, Trump is okay, and he's definitely the better choice from everyone else.
Of course, he is.
Libertarian Party, of course.
Of course. I mean, we could just go about that all day. We're too stubborn. Our views aren't going to change. I don't think the wall is particularly amazing. I think it goes against the Fifth Amendment. I also think that democratically, the Democrats should be able to go against it. The shutdown. Don't like the shutdown. It's bad.
Alistair, do you know what the Fifth Amendment is?
I don't know off word by word. No.
But what's the gist of it?
Something to do with privacy or something. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
I shall look it up.
So you're saying that
I can't remember it, James.
You're saying that the wall goes against Fifth Amendment rights, except you don't know what the Fifth Amendment is. Right? Okay. So let's
James, I can't go against every single. I can't remember every single amendment. Like,
yes,
the only one I know by heart is the first.
You're saying it goes against the fifth one. You don't know what the fifth one is. Right. Thanks everyone for listening. We're going to do a part 2 right now. So yeah, keep tuned in.